Hello my lovelies. So today I am going to show you a bit more about my app and how it works and how to use it and what it can do. I'm sorry if you can hear my dryer tumbling in the background. So I'll start from the very beginning. When you first open the app, the best place to start is your task and routine system, and that will take you into this page here. But as you can see, I have the home category, fitness category, which I haven't touched yet, a self-care category, which is the one I've been using the most so far, affirmations, which is something new that I've just created that I didn't even realize I could do with this, and it's so adaptable. And then routines, a page for Ridley, because I'm going to test out how I can use this with the kids, and then a to-do list, because it also occurred to me that I don't necessarily have to use this as routines. It can be an ongoing task list. But first, if we go into home, you can see I've got all the different rooms in the house, and like if I go into playroom, it'll take me into the tasks, and then I've got all the tasks that need doing in the playroom. Now obviously doing all these in one go would be too much, so I've created some routines. So I've got a playroom reset, which is just, picking up the toys. In fact, I can show you. Clearing the desk, tidying the train set, putting Lego away, tidying blocks, putting the books away, removing items that don't belong, anything like that. And then if I come out of this one, you can see I've got reduce clutter in playroom. So this one's about actually condensing all their toys and their books and the things that they play with, because they get new toys all the time, either family buys them or birthdays and Christmas and that kind of thing, and I need to scale down the amount of toys they have, otherwise it becomes chaos. If that's one thing I've learnt, is that the less stuff I have, the easier it is to keep on top of life, and I definitely need to do a reduction, excuse me, a reduction of all the things that I have in this house. So that's something I haven't done this one yet, but I will at some point. So it's just about reducing all the coats and the board games and books and toys and shoes and all that kind of thing. And then I also have a deep clean playroom, and that's about actually cleaning all the surfaces, and there's other bits that I will probably add to this as and when I need to. So as you can see, from one task, huge task list, I can then condense what I'm doing down into routines to make them more manageable, and depending on what I want to actually do in the room that day. But there will be, all the tasks I need are all here, and if I want to create a new routine for anything others, I can just do select, and then I can choose whichever ones I want, and I can do whatever order I want, and it will put it in the right order that I have clicked them on. And then I can create a routine. Let's just name it test, and I can save the routine, so it will take me into this routine that I've just created. I can also reorder the tasks by sort of dragging and pulling them around, and I can add it to my ideal week. So the idea behind the ideal week is that I don't want to think about what things have to be done every day, and I don't want to go searching for routines if I just want to crack on with stuff. So I can assign it to every day of the week or some of the days of the week, and I can do it for morning, afternoon or evening. And if I add it, it will come up into my ideal week. There is if I go back to home, there's an ideal week space here where you can see I've added certain things that I want to do on those days, like school morning tasks. That's just in Monday to Friday, and then at the weekend I don't have school morning tasks because they don't have school. And then if I go into today's routines, it will show me what I need to do that day. Once I've run a race or a flow for that routine, it will cross it off and let me know that that has been completed. And if I want to go back and see what I've been up to, I've got a calendar here, so I can go into my calendar, March 27th, which is today. You completed 4 routines, you spent 77 minutes getting things done, which is really validating and rewarding being able to see that I've done these things, I have done them. And it also shows me that I did them in flow rather than race, which means I can do it in my own time. I'm not racing against any kind of timer. And it tells me where the routine has come from, whether it's a self-care, a home routine, or a routine. So today I'm feeling really, really good because it's working. It's actually working. I did my essential morning self-care routine. I managed to do my kitchen reset because I came downstairs this morning and the kitchen just looked like a bomb had gone off, and I thought, I don't know how to tackle this, and I thought, well, this is why I've created the app, let's use it. So I did my kitchen reset, and it tells me bit by bit what I have to do. And if I go into view stats, you can see the average time it takes me is 26 minutes to complete doing a full kitchen reset. There's 11 tasks. I've completed this once because I created this specifically. Did I make it today or yesterday? I can't remember, but I made it. And last done about 2 hours ago. So you can see when you last did something. I can also go into an actual task and see I've completed it one time. The average duration is 4 minutes, and it will give me the completion history. There's also the option to include it in a random race, which I will talk about later. I can edit it and change the task name, and I can also delete it. It'll tell you whether you've done it in race or flow as well, and a little icon here, and I can delete it, and it will give me a little warning to let me know that it will delete it from everywhere if I delete it from this particular screen. But I want to keep that task, so I'm not going to delete it. And I just have to say, it felt so good this morning having got up and blitzed the kitchen before the kids even got to school. And now I know I don't have to do that today. It's all done. I mean, obviously, kitchens are kitchens, and you will have to keep picking up throughout the day, but it's at a stable state, ready for the day. And it's just such a rewarding feeling knowing that I've done that. That's off my list of things to do. And there's a sense of achievement there because it's not something I would usually feel, it sounds silly, but I don't always feel capable of tidying my kitchen. The overwhelm from looking at everything that needs to be done is just... And this just takes, if you watch my last video, it takes all the thought process out of it and all the worry and all the anxiety I get from the thought of a huge clean. And yeah, it's worked really well. So I'm going to show you I'll show you my essential evening care routine, and I'm going to be vulnerable here. So don't judge me. So if I go into my essential evening self-care, this is the routine that I've probably run the most, and it's the one I'm most proud of for myself because for years I've been trying to get into a good evening routine so that I'm making sure I'm doing my skincare and brushing my teeth and doing all the things that I'm supposed to do. Now you'll notice that the first thing on my task is have a wee, which sounds silly because you don't need reminding to have a wee, but I have it there because it's almost like the trigger. When I go in the evening and I think, I need to go and have a wee before I go to bed, it's like the start. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm not 100% sure how to explain it. But it's almost like having a wee now triggers my brain into going, right, okay, we're going to start this routine now. So it's something that I'm always going to do, and it will then naturally run on to the rest of the tasks. So I also have removed jewellery because the amount of times I've got into bed and realised I haven't removed my jewellery, and then it's ended up on my bedside table, which has then ended up on the floor, and the amount of earrings I have lost in my life from not remembering to take my jewellery off at the end of the day is unbelievable. So I've also got remove hair pretties, which is basically anything I've got in my hair. I put a lot of flowers, fake flowers and things in my hair. Hair clips, ties, bands, all that sort of thing. And then I have brushed teeth. Now this is where you will probably judge me. I have never gotten into the habit of brushing my teeth. I do it when I remember, which is not often enough. And it's something that I've always felt a lot of shame around and kind of hated myself a little bit for, because I know it's a basic thing that you should do to look after yourself, and it's just something I struggle with. And I know there will be other people watching this video that struggle with remembering to brush their teeth. Okay, so I'm proud of myself for being able to. I have done my teeth every night for the last 2 weeks straight, which has never ever happened before, and it's because of this app. So again, if this doesn't help anybody else, it is helping me, and it is changing my life. It is genuinely changing my life, which is why I created it. The next thing to do is wash my hands, because I've got this really nice smelling soap, and it's nice to have clean hands before you get into bed, and it smells nice. It smells really nice. Plus, in a minute, you'll see that I also have my skincare, and obviously you want to have clean hands to do skincare, and I do my skincare in bed. So I don't want to have to get out of bed and go, oh yeah, I forgot to wash my hands before I did my skincare. So it reminds me to do that. So I've got washed hands, put on deodorant if I feel like I want to put some deodorant on before I go to bed, if I'm not in the mood for having a shower that evening. It's like a quick rinse and deodorant, and then done. And then I put perfume on, which is something that I've just recently started doing as a little self-care thing just for me. When I go to bed, I like to put a little bit of perfume on, and that might sound silly to other people, but it makes me feel like I'm looking after myself and I'm doing something special just for me. And then put pajamas on, and then put clothes away. The amount of times I go upstairs, I just get my pajamas on, if I get my pajamas on. I just jump into bed and I leave my clothes everywhere and I forget about it, and then they end up piling up, and then one day I come into my room and I go, whoa, where did all these clothes come from? Because my brain's just not thinking about doing these steps. It just doesn't. I don't know. My brain just isn't wired that way. I have to, whenever I'm actually doing some sort of routine, I have to think every single step of the way through the routine. It just doesn't, my brain just doesn't seem to form habits, and I have been trying everything for the last 25 years to actually build a routine, and it's just never happened. So this takes all that thought process out of my head, and I just click complete and next, complete and next. It just tells me what to do. I don't have to remember anything. So then pajamas on, put clothes away, and then once I get into bed, I remove my makeup, I put my moisturiser on, and I take my vitamins, which I never remember to do, but I have remembered to take my vitamins for the last, I think, 4 days, because I only added this 4 days ago, because I thought, hang on a minute, I could add my vitamins to this as well. So that is how my evening routine has run. I've also realised that even if I don't have my app on me, and I've only been doing this routine for about 2 weeks, even if I don't have my app on me, I'm starting to remember the next steps. I mean, there's been a couple of days where I've forgotten to take my phone in with me, and I thought, I'll do it, because I kind of remember the steps that I'm supposed to take. Like, I'll have a wee, and then I think, okay, yeah, the next thing is to take my jewellery off, and the next thing is to take everything out of my hair. And sometimes I will forget. I think it's happened about 3 times where I haven't actually taken the app in along with me, and there have been steps that I've missed, but I have done more steps than I've missed. So it is actually working to help my brain remember what the next steps are, because I'm doing it consistently, because it's fun. I actually look forward to doing this routine in the evening, because every time I finish it, I get a real just sort of boost of, I did that. Unless you have struggled with this sort of thing, it probably won't make any sense. But if you are like me and you understand what it's like to desperately want to be more organised and on top of things and have set routines to keep your life in order, if you've never been able to achieve that, when you start being able to do it consistently, it's life-changing. It is life-changing. And I'm so proud of this app. I'm so proud that I've made something that actually finally works for me. And I'm so hoping that it will help other people as well. So I have had a few people reach out to be beta testers, and I got my first response back last night, which was fantastic. It was a really, really good response, and she had some really, really good ideas and a couple of things that I'd missed that she said, this might be good, or this is a little bit clunky trying to do this. So I have already fixed that and updated the app, and I'm just waiting on her response to see if the changes have fixed the slight friction areas that she was having. So I'm waiting on that response. If you're watching this, thank you so much for taking the time to send me that response and give such a detailed review of how you've been using it, and thank you. I really appreciate it. One of the things that she suggested was to be able to add a task repeatedly. So that's something I added last night, where obviously it wouldn't make sense here, but I can click this little button here, remove jewelry, and that will duplicate the task, and the task will end up down here again. So if you need to do something multiple times during a routine, you can do that without having to keep writing it out over and over again, and it will still track the times that you've completed that task. So I'm going to delete that one. So I'm going to select that one and remove it. You're about to remove one task from this routine. These tasks will stay in your task library. So remove from routine. So I thought I would show you, I'm going to try and set up something for Ridley here. I just need to go and get my notes. So I've got some notes here on Ridley's room, because Ridley is at an age now where he should be able to start picking up after himself and start cleaning his room. But people have always said to me, you know, you should make him do it. He's old enough to do it. And I think, yeah, but I struggle keeping my space clean. How can I expect him to be able to do it when I already struggle with it? But now that I'm doing this app and I'm finding it's helping, I figured I could set this up for Ridley and see if it helps him too. So I'm going to take you through with me while I set this up. So I'm going to go into my task and routine system. I'm going to go into Ridley, and I'm going to add a category, and I'm going to call it Ridley Room. And then I shall choose an icon. That's another thing I want to do. I want to add some more icons and have them sort of organized a bit easier so you can find stuff. I'm just going to use the car for now. Ridley Room, add category. So I'm going to go into the category, add your first task. So the first thing I've got here, what I did is I sat in his room while it was all chaotic, and I looked around and I looked at all the things that will need to be done. And I did it at a time when my head was clear and I had time to actually think about it. So first one is put dirty washing in laundry basket. Add task. Then we're going to do throw rubbish in bin. Next one will be tidy away teddies. Put toys in toy box. Put books on bookshelf. Make bed. Tidy desk. Take plates / cups downstairs, because he's forever leaving his plates and cups. And then the last one is put away clean clothes. And done. So now I have all these tasks in here, and I'm going to select them. I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to create routine. Ridley tidy his own room. Now, in theory, I could do this from my homepage, because I have a category in there for Ridley's room specifically, so I could put it all in there, but I'm just creating a new one from here to show you from scratch. So Ridley tidy his own room tells me how many tasks I've included in there, and I can save that routine. So now it shows me where they are. Now, did I add put clean clothes away? I did, but I don't think it registered, and I'm not sure why. I'll look back at the footage, and if that's a bug, I shall go back and fix it. But add task. So you can add an existing task, and you can pick it from your task library. You can search all your tasks. So I can just put get, and like it comes up with get towels because it's pulling them from all the routines. So if I don't want to have to create a new task, if I think, oh, I know that task already exists, I can search for it that way, or I can search for it in the life area and the category. But I don't want a existing task, I want to create a new task. So I'm going to put away, clean, closed. And I'm going to assign it to the life area, and we're doing it in Ridley's life area and in Ridley's room. So I'm going to save it there, and you can see it's come up. However, I want take plates, cups downstairs to be the last thing he does, because I don't want him to have to leave his room and then come back to it, because I find that if I leave a room, I lose track of what I'm doing and it throws me off. So I stay, if I'm cleaning a room, I stay in that room until I am done. So anything that needs taking out of that room will be done at the end. So I'm going to press reorder, and I'm going to move this one down here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's in the wrong order. Maybe make bed should be the first thing he does, I think. I think everything else will be okay. So that's done. So now I can either start the race or I can start flow. So in race mode, it will give you a timer. Automatically, it will give you 20 minutes if you've never run this routine before and you haven't run the tasks before. And if it doesn't have any average time stored, it will give you 20 minutes off the bat to run this race. So you can see it's giving me 20 minutes. So I would hand this to Ridley, and he can see, right, I've got to make my bed. If he needs to pause it, say I've called him for something, and or anything, if one of his brothers or sisters is interrupting him, he can pause the race. This also gives me the chance to add a task here. Say I'm in the middle of doing something and I think, oh, I should have added that task to this, and I don't want to come out of the race to add it. I can add that task there and then, and it will then automatically save it to that routine. So let's say add task here. Let's just say do a dance. So I'm going to say do a dance and add it to the race. So once he's made his bed, that task now comes up, do a dance. I can also do not today, like, okay, he'd say he doesn't want to do a dance today. You can press not today. Say he's not ready to put his dirty washing in the laundry basket yet. Maybe he needs to climb under his bed and get something and there's toys in the way, or I don't know, something like that. He can say not yet, and that will then put it to the end of the list. So he can throw rubbish in the bin, tidy away teddies, put toys in the box. As it's doing this, it will track how long each task has taken. So obviously with this tutorial, it's not going to be accurate because I'm not actually doing the tasks. But when he is doing it, it will be accurate. So it might take him 3 minutes to put the books on the bookshelf. I don't know, however long, and it will let me know that. Tidy desk. So let's say we've gone all the way through, and you can see put dirty washing in laundry basket has now reappeared. So that didn't get lost. It's just been not yet. And then I complete the race. It says you added one task during this race. Do a dance. Would you like to save it permanently to your task library? So I can add it permanently. It lets me know, the most logical place to put this, because it happened while I was in Ridley's room doing his tidying his room. So I can put it in one of the other categories if needed. If I think actually that belongs in a different one, I can do, but I'm going to put it in Ridley's room and save the task. It says you completed 9 of 10 tasks, because one of them I said not today. And it says you spent about 2 minutes taking care of things. And I can finish. And then as you can see, it has now saved do a dance into this routine. So it has added it permanently. But I'm going to go here and I'm going to delete it. If you delete it specifically if you delete something from actually tapping the task, it will delete it from the whole system. If I delete it from using select and go into do a dance here, if I remove it, it just removes it from this routine, so it won't delete the whole thing. I'm just going to put done. I want to actually completely get rid of that because I don't need it. So I'm going to go into delete. You're about to permanently delete Do a Dance. This action can't be undone. That's fine. I'm going to delete that one. So now that has gone. So I can also go from here, add it to the ideal week if I wanted to. Now you can reset the average time because eventually, like if I go into kitchen reset and view stats, you can see average 26 minutes. So maybe I want to reset that average and start from scratch. I can do reset average time. And I think that was everything I wanted to show you from that. Oh no, create random race. So I can go into my task library, and this is where all the tasks I've added to my app live. Now, because this is quite overwhelming to see all these tasks at once, you can also search the tasks by typing in the name, or you can go into your life areas, say go into home, and it'll give me all the tasks that are in home. And then if I want to reduce it down even more, I can say tasks in playroom, and it will just show me all the tasks in playroom. And if I click on here, you can include something in a random race. Now I changed this. Before, all tasks were included in a random race. It would just give you random tasks to do. But sometimes it wouldn't make sense. So like if one of the tasks is, for instance, have a shower, that's too random. It's too random. I want things like go and clean out the cupboard, go and do some dishes, go and wipe down the sides, not go and do your skincare routine in like the middle of the day. So now you can include something in a random race by clicking that on. So let's just do a few of these. Include it in random race. These won't make sense. I'm just compiling some because I haven't actually done this yet, so you can test it with me. Including random race. So then if I go into home, I'm falling off my chair. If I go into home, I can do create random race. So you can say you've got low energy, moderate energy, or high energy, and it will give you it will change the amount of tasks it gives you depending on how much energy you have. So say I haven't got a lot of energy, but I just want to do a few things, I can do select 3 tasks. Random race chooses from tasks you've marked for random selection, 3 tasks from your random race list, and I can start race. And it will just give me 3 random tasks. So clear the desk, tidy the coat hooks, and reduce coats, complete race. I can also save that as a permanent routine if I want to, but I don't want to, so I'm not going to. And I can finish. And that helps on days where I think I want to do some stuff, but I don't really want to think about what I'm doing. Just give me some things to do and I'll just do what you tell me. And it's kind of like a bit of a lottery of what you get. So that's random race. I've also got a section here for favorites. So when you go, if I go into my routine library, this is where all my routines live. And I can, again, reduce how many I see by selecting the life areas or categories I want to do it. So if I click home, just the home stuff will show up. And you can see there's these little stars here. So say like I've got a evening shower routine. That's not necessarily something I'm going to do every single evening, but I might want to be able to get to it quickly. So I could go into, let's find it, self-care, essential morning self-care, essential evening self-care. Does that one have the shower in it? No. Oh, I haven't created that yet. Anyway, the point is, maybe it's not a routine that I do every single day, but it's one that I want to be able to get to quickly and easily. So I can just press a star on it, and then it will then come up in my favorites. It's now my favorites, so it's easy to get to. Like kitchen reset is in there because it might not necessarily be something I do every single day. I'm still sort of working out what routines to run every day and what routines are sort of one-offs. Like say I've got deep clean the boys' walk-in wardrobe. It's not a walk-in wardrobe, it's a wardrobe in a cupboard. But that might not be something I want to do frequently. So like when you've got something you want to do once a week and you don't have a specific day you want to do it on, or once a month, you can just click the star and it's easy to find and get to. I've also got frequently used, so the ones that I use the most. And again, because I haven't actually created very many routines yet, because again, the one I've been using mostly is the Essential Evening Self-Care. The rest of these are from all the tests I've been running to make sure everything works properly. I've forgotten my point. But yeah, this is where my frequently used routines will be. And it will update on obviously how many times you've done something. So the app kind of grows with you over time. And one of my favourite things about it is the fact that this morning I thought my kitchen reset was going to take me about an hour, and it took me 28 minutes. So it gives me a more realistic idea of how long something's actually going to take, so it doesn't seem quite so overwhelming. Like emptying the dishwasher, I always think that's going to take about 10 minutes. It took me 4 minutes. 4 minutes. So it's also a bit of a reality check of how long things are going to take you. It also means that I think, I've got a spare X amount of time. Have I got time to do this? Yes, I probably have, because I know on average it takes me about 26 minutes and I have half an hour. So I know I'm probably going to be able to get that done. So obviously the difference in start race is you're racing against that clock, which I think is very helpful for when I think, I really don't want to do anything right now. I'm just going to give myself 10 minutes, and whatever I get done in that 10 minutes is good enough, because I can also change the amount of time something takes. So it gives me 31 minutes because it gives you a little bit of a buffer from your average time. But I can change the time and say, I'm just going to give myself 10 minutes, and then I can race against the clock. And you can see the timer will go down. And then at the end of the day, say I only get up to put food away or throw out rubbish. Maybe the timer goes off then. And I can say to myself, well, I gave myself 10 minutes and I've said that's as much as I'm going to do. That's good enough. That is good enough. But then if I want to, I can end the race here if I want to. So you can come out of it early if you want to. What was I going to say? But yeah, in flow mode, it doesn't give you a timer. It will still quietly track how long tasks take so that it can keep giving a realistic idea and keep building on that average time. But you don't have the pressure of this needs to be done in this amount of time. But I think especially for Ridley and for any children, if say I gave this to Ridley, I probably would do it in race mode and say, hey Ridley, see if you can get all this done before the timer goes off, or if you can get this done before the timer goes off, you can have a packet of crisps. He loves crisps. Or a bar of chocolate or something. I don't know, some sort of treat or reward at the end of it. And there's probably a million other ways that this app can be used. Like with fitness, it can be like do 10 press-ups and then do 10 sit-ups and 10 such and such and whatever. You can sort of create a routine for a workout routine, or maybe a workflow routine. I'm sure there's other ways that it can and will be used as I use it more. And then at the bottom here we've got help and how it works, so it sort of shows you what all the different parts of the app can do and how it works if you get a bit stuck. And of course, eventually, if I do manage to publish this app and make it available for people, I'll have an email that people can send me messages to if there's things that they're not sure about, or things that think this would be a really good idea, can you add this, or this isn't working quite right, this needs tweaking, all that kind of things. Hopefully all the friction points will be sorted and I'll catch it all with the beta testers, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, that is my app that I've created all by myself. And I'm really happy with it. And I hope you're interested, and hopefully it will be coming soon. So if you are interested in using it or trying it out, if you could leave me a little message, let me know whether it's something you think would be helpful, or if you have any ideas just from watching this video of what might be helpful, please let me know. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye!